And homeless shelters in the city, they are jammed, even as we are handling the migrants bust in from the southwest.
So it adds up to a crisis, and here to discuss it is City Council member Pierina Sanchez from the Bronx. She is also the council's immigration committee.
Yeah, Councilmember Sanchez, thank you so much for being here on the PIX11 Morning. It was good to see you to talk about this important topic.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
So your district includes 14, right? University Heights, Kingsbridge, Mount Eden, as well as Mount Hope. So how is the migrant crisis really playing out in your specific area that you represent?
Right, so we have 48 shelters that, or new centers that the city has opened up. In my district, we don't have official centers, but my churches, our houses of worship, are calling up the office and saying, what can the city do for us? Because we are receiving migrants. We don't know exactly how they know that we are here, but we're opening our doors and we're serving them, and we need help.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've been reporting all morning the Biden administration starting to turn away some migrants, but allowing tens of thousands from Venezuela to enter if they actually apply online. So what are your thoughts about that plan?
Yeah. I mean, I firmly stand in the fact that we are a sanctuary city in New York City. You know, we're receiving, we're recipients of this federal crisis, of this U.S. crisis, right? Because it's a global one. There are push factors that are bringing people from all over the world to want to come to the United States to seek a better life. And I'm always a proponent of opening up our borders and opening up our arms, right? My family wouldn't be in the United States. So many of us wouldn't be in the United States if it weren't for the opportunities that we had to get here. But it is a strain on the system, right? And so we have to make sure that we're receiving the federal support, the state support, and doing all that we can as a city to welcome migrants here.
You know, so your committee issued a statement that favors housing asylum seekers at hotels, right? And that is something that a lot of city council members have put forth. The mayor has been pushing back, saying, if you have the hotels, where are they? So how is the communication going between the two?
Yeah, so I actually chair the housing committee, and I joined in the statement that you are referencing. And the conversations are ongoing. The Speaker's office and the New York City Council is leading those discussions. There are places that have been identified, and those discussions are ongoing. You can imagine that the conversations are sensitive.
Yeah.
But you know, I think for me, especially as the chair on housing and buildings in the city, what is happening is that we are seeing a raised importance of the problems that we already knew that we had. My mother has a saying. She says, "Don't worry, problems invite themselves in. They don't come knocking. You don't have to welcome them. They show up at your doorstep," right? And that's what we're seeing today. And because we're seeing the influx of migrants, and we're seeing a strain on our existing system that was already, you know, facing a lot of difficulties. You know, we have arcane rules that keep people in shelters for 90 days, even if they've already identified permanent shelter. We have rules that cause people who live in the city of New York City residents who may become homeless, they have to do things like go into a PATH intake center 3, 4, 5 different times because of bureaucratic inefficiencies, mistakes that are made. And so these errors that have been happening over the course of many years are right now just, you know, they're being showcased, right? They're like the big billboard in Times Square. And those are the things that we need to address in order to relieve our system upstream and make more space, right? We have to do more, better, and faster.
Exactly. There's so much desperation for housing right now. And you don't want the mayor to use Randall's Island as a tent city for housing for the migrants. So where do you propose they go instead?
Right. You know, that's what we're focused on. We want to make sure that when the migrants arrive, that they're being welcomed in a place that is not going to be exposing them to the elements, that is not going to flood. You know, winter's fast approaching, that is not going to be cold, right? And so we maintain that the HERC proposed, the humanitarian relief center that is proposed for Randall's Island is not the best place. And so these discussions about hotels should be ongoing. Yesterday, I want to applaud the administration. I want to applaud Mayor Adams. Yesterday, they announced that the Row Hotel is going to be able to open up several hundred rooms. I believe it was 200 rooms for families with children that are coming into our city. And that's exactly the kind of thing that we need to do. You know, there, as I said in the opening, 48 new shelters have been opened just in the past weeks. That is really, really difficult. I used to work for the mayor's office in a similar role during the onset of COVID, and I know how hectic it is. You're just scrambling and you're trying to figure everything out, and you're speaking to stakeholders. members. And what I urge as, as a member of the city council now on the other side of the equation is, keep that line of communication open. We know our communities, we know our districts. We have suggestions. I have been talking to my local community colleges, looking at the parks in our district, looking at the facilities in our district. And I know that my counterparts in the state and other city council members have been doing the same.
Okay.
And we're bringing those ideas. So all of those things need to be on the table. They need to be vetted. And we're doing the best that we can with limited resources, and we need to continue to do so.
Understood. It's an ongoing conversation for sure, and one that we will keep on having. You're welcome back to continue this conversation, but we're out of time today. Bronx City Councilwoman Pierina Sanchez, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you so much.